Which Intel CPU is the best? I'll tell you. It's the i7-9700F. But why is it the best? I'll tell you that too. I spent hours doing research about CPU specs and parts, comparing the most popular i5, i7, and i9 CPUs from 9th and 10th gen. First off, the i7-9700F has 8 cores and 8 threads, which is the Goldilocks zone for productivity and gaming. Most games can only take advantage of 1, maybe 2 threads at a time, so what's the point of spending money on a whole bunch of threads if the game can only use 1 at a time? On the flip side though, if you are into content creation as well, then this is also the CPU for you. With a lot of threads and cores, it can handle many tasks at once, such as video and photo editing like Premiere and Photoshop, or 3D rendering like V-Ray, or CAD such as Autodesk and SolidWorks. To be honest, integrated graphics are kind of a waste of money. Why spend all the cash on a feature you'll most likely never use, and that $80 to $100 you save from buying a CPU without integrated graphics can go to an actual graphics card. Unfortunately though, this processor is not unlocked, which means the overclocking capabilities will be limited, but there is an option to turbo the CPU that will allow you to go to about 4.7 GHz, which gives you a little extra headroom.
Now compared to its older brother, the i7-9700K at stock speeds, it slacks a little bit. Even paired up with an RTX 2080 Super, the i7-9700F does fall behind a bit in almost, well yeah, all of the games. And the i7-9700F stays on the heels of the 9700K, but it never surpasses it. The only time where it gets close is in COD Modern Warfare, where there's about a 15 frame difference in the minimum and the average.
Now look, this is not the most powerful CPU on the market. AMD clearly takes the crown with their 5000 series CPUs, and there are Intel CPUs that are much more powerful than this one with 10, 16 cores. So why do I think it's the best one? Well, it's because it has a really good mix of performance and productivity, and it has a much better price and performance than all the other Intel CPUs that I evaluated. I mentioned this before, but some of the reasons the CPU finished with a higher score than the other ones is because of those less influential but really ended up being tie-breaking parts, like the price. It can either be a big plus or it can take away from the value of the other parts of the CPU. In this case, it's a big plus. 8 cores and 8 threads for about $260 to $280, depending where you buy it, is a really good value. Another point I should add is that the CPU is more or less for people who would like to save an extra buck or who aren't too familiar with overclocking, and for the people who want to spend more time gaming and doing other things rather than just messing around in the BIOS too much. But for people who are confident enough to do so, I highly recommend the i7-9700K because it has an unlocked multiplier and it gives a little bit of extra power. To sum it up, this CPU is a very good choice based off of its specs and its very competitive price. It's not quite budget and it's not quite the most insane 64-core processor out there, but it's right in that Goldilocks zone where you get what you pay for and a little bit extra. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this super random and kind of pointless video, but I enjoyed making it. And if you want to see more of these short videos, just let me know down in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later.